Every year, more than 20 million tons of sunflower oil are consumed worldwide. From home kitchens to the large food industry, every second, almost 650 liters of this oil are used somewhere on the planet. With a global market valued at over $23 billion, this golden liquid is a silent giant on supermarket shelves and is essential in many countries. But do you know how it's made? How do the seeds of a flower that turns in search of the sun become one of the most consumed oils in the world? In this video, see all the stages of sunflower oil production, from harvesting the seeds to the final packaging. It all starts in the vast agricultural fields where the sunflower is grown. These impressive plants are not just beautiful, they are true biological oil factories. For months, they absorb sunlight, water, and nutrients from the soil, concentrating energy in their seeds. The harvest time is crucial. When the large flower heads, now heavy and drooping toward the ground, dry out and turn dark brown on the back, it's a sign that the seeds are mature and ready. Tractors and harvesters get to work, moving methodically through the fields. These machines are designed to cut the sunflower heads and, through a threshing mechanism, separate the seeds from the other plant materials. What results is an avalanche of tiny seeds. As soon as they are harvested, the seeds begin their journey to the processing plant. Loaded trucks arrive and the first stop is the scale to record the weight of the load. Before being processed, they need to go through a thorough cleaning. Equipment such as vibrating screens and aspirators remove the larger and smaller impurities. After cleaning, a very important step comes next: dehulling. Sunflower seeds have an outer shell that, although rich in fiber, contains little oil. Keeping it during extraction would reduce the efficiency of the process. That's why the seeds go through dehulling machines, which break the shell through impact or friction. An aspiration system separates the kernels, which are the oil-rich part, from the lighter shells. These shells are not wasted. They can be burned in boilers to generate energy for the factory itself or sold as animal feed. Now we have the clean seeds ready. The next step is to prepare them for oil extraction. They are ground using large rollers or mills. This grinding breaks the cell walls of the seeds, making it easier to release the oil. The resulting product then goes through a process called cooking or conditioning. It is heated in large tanks with agitators at controlled temperatures. We've reached the heart of the process: oil extraction. In modern industry, two main methods are used, often in combination. The first is mechanical pressing. The heated mass is fed into continuous screw presses, also known as expeller presses. Imagine a giant screw rotating inside a perforated cylinder. As the mass is pushed by this screw, the pressure progressively increases, squeezing the oil out through the small holes in the cylinder. The liquid that drips out is crude sunflower oil, dark in color and with a strong, characteristic aroma. The solid material that remains, called press cake, still contains a residual amount of oil. To extract as much oil as possible, especially in large industrial operations, the press cake goes to the second phase: solvent extraction. The most commonly used solvent is hexane, a petroleum derivative with a high capacity to dissolve oils. The cake is placed in an extractor and washed with hexane in a countercurrent process. The solvent washes the cake, dissolving and carrying away the remaining oil. At the end of this process, what remains is a meal that is practically free of oil, which is dried to remove all the solvent and sold as a high-protein product for the animal feed industry. The mixture of oil and hexane, called micella, goes to a distiller. Since hexane has a much lower boiling point than oil, it evaporates easily when heated. What remains in the distiller is the rest of the crude oil. At this point, all the extracted oil, both from pressing and from solvent extraction, is combined. However, it contains several impurities, so it needs to go through a refining process. The first stage of refining is degumming. The crude oil is mixed with water or a weak acid and heated, and can then be separated by centrifugation. The degummed oil is treated with an alkaline solution, usually caustic soda. This substance reacts with the free fatty acids, which cause acidity and undesirable flavor, turning them into a kind of soap known as soap stock. Again, a high-speed centrifuge separates this soap from the oil. The oil is now neutralized, but it still has an intense yellow color. The next step is bleaching or clarification. The oil is heated and mixed with activated clays or activated charcoal. These materials have a porous surface that absorbs, or rather, traps color pigments and other residual impurities on their surface. After a period of contact, the mixture passes through filters that retain the clay along with the pigments, resulting in an oil with a much lighter and clearer color. The last and perhaps one of the most important steps of refining is deodorization. The clarified oil is heated to high temperatures under vacuum. The vacuum drastically reduces the boiling point of the volatile compounds responsible for odor and flavor. A steam injection carries these compounds out of the oil. This process removes any residual odor or flavor, resulting in a completely neutral product, which is what most consumers look for in general culinary use. In addition to removing odors, deodorization also eliminates any pesticide residues and hexane solvent that may have remained. Finally, after going through this entire complex process of cleaning, extraction, and refining, sunflower oil is ready. But before being packaged, it goes through one last and rigorous round of tests at the Quality Control Laboratory. Parameters such as color, taste, odor, acidity, and peroxide value are analyzed. Only after the laboratory's final approval is the oil released for bottling. Automated machines fill the bottles, which can be made of PET plastic or other materials, with precision. The caps are screwed on, and labels containing nutritional information, expiration date, and batch numbers are applied. And the bottles are boxed and palletized, ready to be distributed to logistics centers, supermarkets, and finally to your kitchen. And that was today's video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.